Hey, Bookkeeping Side Hustle community, it's Kate. So glad to have you here. We've got an awesome resource rundown for you today called Accounts Payable the Easy Way, how to start offering accounts payable services for your bookkeeping clients. Our guest today is Yousef West from Relay Bank, and many thanks to Relay for sponsoring this and for being our instructor today. If you want more information about this after the fact, please visit bookkeepingsidehustle.com/relay. It's at the bottom of your screen right now. While you're watching live, please jump in with any questions you have. I'll be able to monitor the chat. And like all of my resource rundown interviews, before we get really deep into the weeds, I'm going to ask Yousef to give us his top 2 to 3 takeaways, because I know for me, sometimes I just everything can't stick in my brain at once, and I will need to go back like kind of once my brain is ready. And so that's how we're going to start this after he introduces himself with his top takeaways. So if that's all that you can listen to and take with you, and then you'll just be able to remember that you can come back later and get the details. We're going to go get the high level overview, and then we're going to get some really, really practical tips that you'll be able to execute on soon if you're ready. So also hang on to the end for some swag prizes. Relay is going to give away. We're going to give away 5 shirts by spinning our little prize wheel. So stay tuned for that. And there'll be some information at the end about a cool St. Patrick's Day trivia night party that they're having, and they want all of us to be invited to. One last bit of admin. If you appreciate what goes on at Bookkeeping Side Hustle, you can go to bookkeepingsidehustle.com/support. And there are lots of ways to say thanks, including a link of mine for Relay Bank. If you need a business bank account, I'm a Relay user, and that would be an easy, free way to say thanks. And now we're going to dive in. I see we got several people watching. Chime in, tell us where you're from, tell us that you can hear. We will take questions, so don't be shy. Ask any question you got, and I'll make sure we get Yousef to answer. Now, I'd like to ask our guest to introduce himself. Tell us where you're from, what you do, and as always, end with that awesome accounting joke.
Okay, I have to end with a joke. I was hoping I could open with the joke.
You know what? You can open with the joke if that's how you want to lead off.
Right. I'll give like a super quick intro, do the joke, and then I'll do like a deeper intro.
Perfect.
I'm Yousef from Relay. You might know me in the accounting and bookkeeping community. You might not. I've kind of worked. My last role was at HubDoc. I helped grow kind of that business from zero until the acquisition by Xero. In the accounting joke that I have, by the way, I just want everyone to know for the record, I was given 5 minutes ago, so I hope I nailed the delivery on this.
I told them the doc is staff's pay.
For the value of one joke. Okay, so here it goes. This is all for all the marbles. A woman went to the doctor who told her that she only had 6 months to live. The woman said, "Oh my God, what shall I do?" The doctor suggested, "Marry an accountant." "Why?" asked the woman. "Will it make me live longer?" The doctor replied, "No, but it will seem longer."
Dun-dun-ching! Way to go. Boring accountants, hard to be married to. Okay.
I mean, I did not choose this joke. I would just like to put that one not on me. But
I think it's great. It's perfect, and we're here to make accounting fun. I know that's what y'all are going to do next week with your trivia night. I participated in the fall. It was fun. We had 2 teams from the Bookkeeping Side Hustle group. So you can tell us more about other ways accountants have fun. We're not going to make time seem long, not in this world. Okay.
So I'll do my intro, even though there's like a proper slide on it. But like
yes.
I've worked with like thousands of accounting and bookkeeping firms, and I think the stereotype generally is like not one that is true. I think people are like super dynamic, super fun, super friendly, such a wonderful community that is like very warm, very helpful. And I think that's something you've built, Kate, with the Bookkeeping Side Hustle. And so we're like super excited to be here and be part of it.
Awesome.
But part of
it. We're glad to have you. I know that I am excited to learn what you have to say. So last week I sent an email getting people to register, and I think I titled it about how I said like the newsletter where I admit that my website has a little white lie, and I say I offer accounts payable on my website. I have like a services page, but I don't offer accounts payable for any clients. And I mean, I would, but I don't. So this is really applicable to me because I know it's a great way to grow my business. I think one of the best ways to grow your revenue with that is to grow within your existing client base. I mean, you already have the client, so try to provide more value to the clients you already have. So this is, I try to make stuff applicable to me as I'm growing my own business to sort of self-serving. So I'm excited, and I'm a Relay user, and so I think this is just, it's going to be great. So I think, are we ready to share your slides?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go.
All right, if you share, you should be able to share, and I'll add it.
No. Okay.
I think.
Yep. Here we go. Perfect.
All right, we will add the slides here, and I'll take that off. All right, yeah, y'all keep asking questions. I hope that we're going to start with your sort of top takeaways, but go ahead and get into what you got, and I'm going to jump in with questions as I have them.
Perfect. So yeah, like I think the AP or accounts payable management, it's something that for your practice, generally speaking, is not like a huge heavy lift, but for the client, it's like, holy crap, this is kind of amazing. And that's why we kind of wanted to do like an introduction to like how to think about like starting to offer bill pay for your clients. I already gave kind of a quick intro, but the reason we started Relay was essentially to solve financial visibility for small business owners and make the process easier for advisors and the clients they work with. And so that's why we offer banking services that effectively operate as like a smart operating account, make collaboration easy, manage your bills easy, expense management easy, all really straightforward. So where we are, I'm going to skip actually to the top 3 takeaways here, and then we'll kind of circle back a little bit.
Okay.
So the top 3 takeaways: 1, business owners want help with AP. The thing we hear from firm owners all the time, it's like, hey, this is the easiest service I offer, but to my business owners, it is like the most valuable. 2, offering AP as an add-on service actually doesn't have to be complicated or costly. I know it can feel like, oh my God, I'm just trying to get my head around like just doing the bookkeeping and delivering a good service. But adding on AP kind of beyond that is not, it is not as heavy of a lift by a far stretch of actually just doing the bookkeeping well.
Okay.
And then 3, I mean, Relay is a great product, I think is the takeaway on the 3rd one. But that we have a simple accounts payable workflow that integrates with QuickBooks Online and Xero and just makes that process really straightforward for you and your clients.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so all bookkeeping entrepreneurs are also business owners, and I guess I kind of relate to I kind of want help with AP a little bit. Like it is a pain point, like it's not the thing, paying my own bills, and I don't have a lot of bills. A lot of mine is like software as service kind of stuff that I'm already subscribed to, but that almost makes it more noticeable when I do have to pay a bill. Like, how am I going to do this? So I relate to it being a pain point. So cool.
Nice. And so today, like, just to give you kind of a recap on like Relay, Relay is basically the bank you always wished you worked with. It's banking that makes bookkeeping easier. So we make it easy for you to actually have like a partner portal for your clients, so you can switch between client accounts and actually collaborate with them securely, as opposed to sharing bank logins and doing things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's crazy, right? Like we're living in 2021. We're in the 2020s, and people are still sharing bank logins. 2, we actually have direct integrations or direct bank feeds into QuickBooks Online and Xero. So it's API to API, it's software talking to software. There's not like screen scrapers, which is how 99% of kind of bank connections into the accounting system work, and so those often break.
Okay, yeah.
And then 3 is we deliver enriched data into the accounting system. So like I think the perfect example that is mind-blowing, I think, for the accounting and bookkeeping community, and for our customers across the board, is that when a check is deposited inside Relay, it gets passed across into the accounting system with all the key data, with the vendor, with the date, with the amount, with the note or memo included. So you're not receiving, check 1, 2, 3, 4, and then trying to chase down that check image to make sense of it.
Okay, that's awesome. That's really fancy.
Right.
I guess you're. So the reason this works is because you're coming at Relay from like an accounting software background instead of you weren't like born a banker. You're coming up through the accounting software space, so that makes sense. That because bankers aren't intimately involved with QBO and Xero, so yeah. Makes sense.
That's exactly it. And so when we go into the demo, you really see kind of like that thoughtfulness and understanding of the workflows. And do I still like slightly get like not chills, but like, slight discomfort when someone calls me a banker? Maybe that still happens. I've worked too hard to be called a banker. And then the thing we're going to focus on today that we've built on top of kind of this core, collaborative banking tool set is this ability to like automate your bills from your bank account. Every small business owner, like, today they pay by their checkbook, online bill pay, PayPal, Venmo, the list goes on. And it's hard to get a sense for like cash flow as a result, because things are getting paid here and there and, data siloed. And so what we built right into Relay is the ability to actually have bills automatically show up in your bank account. You pay them, you have approval workflows. We'll get into it, but it really makes it easy to kind of bolt that service on when you're doing the core bookkeeping.
All right.
Sweet. So I think like when we go through these stats, on the topic of, hey, we're in 2021, aren't we supposed to be, driving around in flying cars, and not dealing with, checkbooks or like insecure, financial systems. But this is a reality that we live in, right? So for most small business owners, accounts payable is like exceptionally time consuming and exceptionally costly. It actually costs like over $15 to process a paper invoice and make a check payment. And there's higher risk of error or fraud and like longer payable timelines. You just don't know when that check is going to hit, and it makes it really hard to actually manage cash flow for your client, as well as, if you're delivering that as a service, it makes it hard to do that. Mm-hmm. And then, the other part of it is that like that disorganized kind of process ends up resulting in like pricey last minute wires. So you're paying, Chase $20 to make sure the money shows up on time. But with good planning, with centralized information, those situations become a lot easier to avoid. And so you save a lot of money kind of on the fees. And I think this still like boggles my mind that this is true. But SMBs, anyone with $25 million in revenue or less are paying 80% of invoices by check. I think that just shows how much opportunity there is to deliver meaningful services that are just better for these business owners.
Right.
And then, if once you're ready to you've got the bookkeeping, it's going well, it's great. And then you're ready to add on, the straightforward, simple, like, AP processing, you can actually reduce the cost per invoice by over 70%, which is pretty insane.
So when you say cost per invoice, you're talking about like, I guess, bank fees, but like accounting staff time? Like that's a little confusing to me about cost per invoice.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. So I think it's a combination of, hey, wire fees. Sure, I think that's an easy one. But I think the hidden cost is really the time. And we'll talk about like how much time people spend on average per client per month, just trying to organize the information or get the proper approvals before a bill is actually paid. There's a lot of steps before that actual payment occurs.
Okay. All right.
Cool. So here it is. I mean, here's reality. So, when you look at kind of the traditional AP process, there's the intake process. You could be, receiving bills via mail from your clients. They could be just handing you, a grocery bag full of bills. I've definitely heard of that happening. or you're doing a weekly pickup, or you have a bike courier that grabs the bills from their office, or whatever it is. These are all things, right? Like, I know we live in this wonderful, Zoom reality where we can all talk to anyone at any time, but like, this stuff happens.
Or worse, it's like you have the bike courier, you might have the paper bag, and then you have like 3 emails, maybe a text. That's from one client. Like,
right. And so you're spending, call it 3 to 6 hours per client per month, just trying to get the information
right.
in the first place to be able to pay the bills. And then you're spending all this time actually like processing and coding these bills. And perhaps you're scanning them, perhaps you're doing manual data entry. There's just a lot of work that goes into it. And then once the bill is actually like, okay, you've processed it, now I need to figure out if I can pay it, because I don't want to pay it without asking the client to say, hey, client, can I pay this bill? Do I have your approval? Just you want to do that from like, an audit trail perspective, financial liability perspective, and also just having confidence that you're paying the right thing, or there hasn't been a wrinkle on the vendor relationship or anything like that. And so you're going to spend this time, perhaps you're texting, perhaps you're emailing, just trying to get some type of paper trail in place to get the approval. And then lastly, actually paying the bill. You're probably, as we saw with those stats on the previous slide, 80% of SMBs are actually paying by check. And so, you're printing checks, you're mailing it out, you're going through this process. And then on the back end, you're doing all this manual reconciliation to make sense of these checks that have gone out, and you have minimal context around, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I know that, this audience are kind of perhaps earlier on the journey, but you can see how this gets a little bit out of control from a time investment, and how actually, like, you can imagine automating this stuff and putting it in the cloud actually could reduce this cost pretty substantially.
Right.
Cool. And so, as we talked about, right, like, this is a huge opportunity for bookkeepers. Like, small business owners want their firm to actually help with AP and AR. I run, like, I pay our bills, I relay. I don't like doing it, but I do it because it's good for us to test our product and see how it all works, and dog food it. But if we were in a different business line, I would 100% pass that off to our accountant or bookkeeper, because it is so valuable. It's just time I can get back. And there are modern tools in place that allow me to have the level of control I would want to have on my business's finances, while actually like outsourcing the brunt of the work. So it's such a great opportunity to like increase the revenue you're making from your clients. I'm going to call this out. We've been using this GIF a decent amount in recent webinars we've been doing, and it's still like watching that person in yellow fall. That does not look fun.
No.
I think, right?
It keeps playing over and over.
Yeah, exactly. It just keeps coming. So we're going to be like the purple person and, figure it out. And I in my mind's eye, she finds her way to the end. She gets back up. But, the challenge with a lot of presentations like this is it's so easy to say this stuff, right? So let's talk about like the nitty gritty, like what actually makes this hard for bookkeepers to deliver this service. So
right.
Here are the reasons. Let's talk about it. Cost is a huge one. Available automated solutions like Bill.com are actually very expensive. You're talking about like $40 per user per month, right? So if it's yourself and just your one person from your client, you're already talking about $80 per business per month. And that doesn't even include the cost to actually process the payments. It's really beyond the means of like an average SMB who might have, say, 20 to 30 bills per month. It's quite an expensive solution.
I can make a comment on that real fast. So early in my journey, probably procrastinating the hard work of actually getting clients, I was accumulating some certifications, and it was good to kind of learn. And I got the Bill.com certification. I think it's still on my LinkedIn profile. And I mean, I'm not gonna besmirch that company. I didn't go far at all. And the only reason really why was because I just knew that the businesses I was going to target, that was going to be a non-starter. So I did the certification, but in my gut, I was like, this is not going to go anywhere. And I put it on my LinkedIn. I put the little badge on LinkedIn, and that's as far as I went. Because yeah, $80 a month is, yeah, that wasn't gonna work for who I knew I was going to be targeting. So that's my story with that other AP solution.
I mean, it's a huge limiter, right? Like if you did that right at the beginning of your journey and still today have like held back on it, I think that tells it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And then, I think we've hopefully beaten the drum on like how much of an arduous process it is to actually process AP manually. It's just a lot of time. And when you think about how much you could potentially charge a business owner, doing it manually doesn't really make financial sense in that context.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 is, a lot of accountants and bookkeepers, candidly, they have the bank logins, but they definitely don't want, like, one, they feel uncomfortable about that on its own. And then 2, like the thought of going in with their client's bank logins and making a payment on behalf of the client without an audit trail. Yeah. Terrifying. Right.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Like, 100%.
Yeah. Like what scares you about that?
Getting something wrong, making the front page of the paper. Yeah, I mean, that's what you go to jail for. You see the people on the news, like, I mean, I guess there would be, I don't know that I would particularly struggle with this, but just knowing that, like, if something went wrong, you're going to get blamed, and there's no way to, even if you had like the utmost integrity, there's just no way to protect yourself. And business is so complicated and hairy anyway. It's COVID, people like, where's my money? Like all this stuff, it's already hard enough. And so when people are needing to feed their families with their business, and it starts to go wrong, I mean, just the psychology of like a failing business, of not having money in the bank account, is going to be really, really tough. Yeah. Y'all chime in. What does that make you feel in your stomach when he says that, like, oh yeah, some people have their, the only way to do this would be to like have access to your client's cash to pay bills. Like that would make me uncomfortable, and something I just don't think I wouldn't do, because it's not worth, like, I'm in this for the long haul. I want to have a long business. I don't want to get shut down because of something that wasn't my fault.
100%. So let's talk about like solutions. So we're going to talk about Relay, and we'll talk about like what some of the differences are in terms of like how to think about this stuff. But the way we come at it is, one, we want it to be really simple and easy to get started. That's really critical for us. We want to not only deliver that like end-to-end automation from the tools you're already using. So if you're using QuickBooks Online or Xero, just making that really like straightforward, but making the process itself like really simple to understand and intuitive. 2 is delivering on that security. So we talked about like the liability and the risk. So with Relay, you actually have advanced user permissions already baked in. And then you also have like multi-stage approvals, like approval rules, with like an audit trail already there. So Kate, you could say, hey, Yousef, I want you to approve this bill before I pay it. You can do that. Or if it's one of our other team members, Eleni, is on this call. Kate, you might want Eleni to review the bill first, approve it, and then it gets passed to me to approve it, and then you could pay it. So you can do like multi-stage. You can like create more sophisticated rules depending on the setup of your client and what makes sense.
Yeah, they might have like a 2-person accounting staff or something. I mean, if it's a $25 million company, like one of the stats you had mentioned, there's a good chance that they have a couple of people kind of with their hands in the money pot. And so it would be good they're going to have their own controls, so you can just work within their existing controls.
Right, exactly. And, when you think about that in terms of like how big of a pain point cost can be to be able to do that, right? Like those 2 members of the team and then yourself, you're talking about, $120 a month just on subscription fees, right? So costs can be quite prohibitive. And then the last thing is we offer our AP solution today actually for free, but we are going to kind of bundle it into like what we're calling like Relay Pro,
Okay.
It will remain like very low cost for small business owners. So it'll be $30 per business per month. And once you add 3 clients, it like drops down to $25. Then you get the benefit of like wholesale billing as you grow.
Can I ask a couple more questions about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that I'm gonna ask you how we get our clients to use Relay, which I think is the critical component of how this all is going to work. But for now, I just want to ask, those prices that you were talking about, is that the client is bearing those costs, or is it part of like the account? Does the bookkeeper firm bear those costs?
I think it's up to the advisor in terms of how they structure it. So some people might say that, I want to create that as part of my COGS, right? Like I want to pay for their QuickBooks Online account, their Relay account, whatever, their Gusto, and that's part of the service that I offer. Other people might say, hey, I actually want to pass on that cost to the small business owner. It's entirely dependent on the relationship.
Okay, and do you anticipate there being a difference in prices for volume of bills?
So no.
Okay, and one last question. When do you think that this is going to roll out? Because right now we can be doing this with Relay, yes?
Yep,
we can be paying our bills? Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
When is Pro coming out?
So Pro will come out in the next few months. What we'll do is since it's free, like you can actually go and use it today. Since it's free today, what we'll do is we'll actually grandfather everyone in.
I got it.
Into Relay Pro, and then any clients you add beyond that. So definitely like a huge incentive to get started, yesterday, and start getting your clients on board because we'll grandfather them in basically.
Let me do another little admin. So if y'all go to my referral link to open your own business bank account, but then all those other firms who are like these new Relay users who are going to try to use this, they can use their own referral link to get their clients to start using Relay. Is that correct?
That is exactly it.
Yeah. So hopefully that makes sense. It's like a rolling tumbleweed kind of a referral. Like it would be something that you would have access to. Obviously you would want to promote it in an ethical way and make sure it's a product you believe in and all that, but you would have the same opportunities to benefit from bringing clients onto a product that you love, and hopefully you will love it. Bingo. Like I've been a customer.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's it, right? Like we love to work with accounting and bookkeeping firms. We love for folks to try us out, see how it works, feel comfortable with us, ask our customer service team questions, get fast responses, and feel really happy. And that's really what drives the referrals. So that all sounds really great.
Awesome.
Nice. Okay, let's talk about the new AP process with Relay. Look at these green colors. Look at the graduation.
Okay.
As we go through the process. So the buckets previously were kind of like intake and processing. Those are separated. There was the accounting. There was the approvals. There was the payments. It was kind of like this arduous journey that you have to go on to pay bills. And so what I'd like to highlight is that this for us is like an ideal state. So if you're using a tool like Dext or formerly known as Receipt Bank, or a tool like HubDoc, those can be great in terms of like automating the document intake process and actually like posting those bills into the accounting system, but totally optional. That isn't where you need to start. So So what the process, I think, for a lot of folks is that, when there are bills, unpaid bills in Xero or QuickBooks Online, we automatically pull them into Relay. And then you have approval rules that you've set up inside Relay that help automate that approval process, right? So, Kate, you'll see this bill and you'll submit it for approval. I'll get an email saying, hey, Kate wants to pay this bill to, Acme Corp. Please review and approve it. I look at it, all looks good. I hit approve, and then you can go ahead to that next stage of payment, and you can pay directly and securely by ACH, wire, both domestic and international, as well as check. And then the really nice thing is you can actually like request payment details, as well as W-9s. So part of the reason why 80% of those small business owners are paying by check is because they don't have the account details of the other party. So with Relay, if let's say, Kate, I wanted to pay you via ACH, but I don't have your bank details, I can say, hey, I'm going to pay Kate $1,000. Here's her details. Please request her information and actually require a W-9. And so I can initiate that payment. You'll receive an email saying, hey, Yousef wants to pay you via Relay. It's $1,000. Please enter your payment details. You enter them. You receive the funds the next day. It's all really easy and free.
Okay, like the movement of the money's free.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
For ACH. Yeah. And
can they pay via credit card?
They can't pay via credit card today.
Meaning that might go away? You say today? Like,
or
is that new?
No. As in we don't offer the ability to pay for the bill via credit card or debit card.
They cannot pay by credit card.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So it's not something we do today.
Sorry, I thought you said can. So I want to go back to this step about sync through Xero or QBO. I have one bill that I need to pay to my city, and they mailed it to me. I need to pay it. I don't remember how I paid it. I think I mailed a check last year.
Right.
I pay it once a year. So are you telling me? So my Relay account, my business bank account, is connected to my business QuickBooks. Yeah. If I make a bill in my QuickBooks, personal QuickBooks account, QuickBooks Online account, it's going to show up in Relay?
You got it.
So, okay. Well, I have a tester. Like I'm going to be able to test this out with this one bill. And what happens if I write a check anyway, and I don't I don't have checks from Relay, but I have checks from a local branch. So that's also connected to QBO, will that disappear from Relay because it's been paid by something else?
Yeah. So if you write that check from another account and you go into your QBO and just say, hey, this bill has been paid, we'll automatically receive that information from QuickBooks, and then the bill will no longer show up in your Relay account.
Okay. Wow. This is all the magic. Okay. Very cool. Very good.
Exactly. And then the other nice thing is it's one-click reconciliation. So you don't have to deal with clearing accounts or any notion like that. So once a bill is paid from Relay, we go into QBO and actually mark the bill as paid. And then once the payment settles on the Relay side, we send across a bank fee transaction that just matches up.
Yeah. There's not a perfect time to ask this, so I'll just ask it now. Is it US only? People are wondering about geography.
Yeah. So for businesses that have a US entity, that's what Relay is really built for. Okay. So if you are, say, Canadian, and you've got a LLC in Michigan or wherever, you can sign up online inside of 10 minutes, no paperwork, no branch. And we support over 200 countries.
Okay.
Sweet.
There's the answer, folks.
Cool. And so just to kind of wrap that up, this is kind of the ideal AP workflow kind of ecosystem. So you start with, and again, you don't have to do this, but if you start with a HubDoc or Dext, or formerly known as Receipt Bank, to intake the bills, process them, and then post them across into the accounting system, Relay will automatically sync the bills and the payees, and then as you pay bills, we'll make payments out, and then we'll sync the payment details via direct bank feed into the accounting system.
Awesome. I'm trying to look at some questions here too while you're continuing to go.
Okay, cool. Just jump in.
All right.
As you go for it. So, I mean, if we were to summarize this, it's really all about the value. The value for your firm is that you're building stickier relationships with each client because you're delivering additional services, and candidly, you're going to make more money because you're able to charge for those services. And then, this is really the biggest part. It's really value for your clients, right? When you enable clients to stop doing manual, error-prone AP processes, they're going to save money, and this is really the biggest. And it's harder to make this as tangible as it is once it's achieved, but it's increasing cash flow visibility when they can actually understand what's coming down the pipe and start to forecast their business. So it's really helpful.
Are we going to have a chance to see inside of Relay? Oh, demo next.
Oh my God. Yes. Let's do it.
I want to ask you this now in case people have to go. So here's the one thing that's like hanging over my head about all of this. How do I get my clients to use Relay? Like like it seems a little weird to say, hey, lawyer of mine, or hey, who else do I have? I've got 2 lawyers, 2 soccer coaches. Hey, soccer coaches, can you change banks?
Yeah, so I think that is the language that is guaranteed to get you a no.
Okay.
So
pro tip. Okay.
Yeah. So like, what we see firms do is they actually don't have that conversation. We call it like the switching conversation.
Okay.
Because like something that's being coded into our DNA, maybe it's the way we were all like brought up, like whatever, society, where, if you're asked to switch banks, what you automatically think of is switching from Wells Fargo to Bank of America, right?
Yeah.
Or some equivalent. And the experience that you're going to get at that new bank isn't really going to be that much better than the old bank, because those are really like commodity products, and you just think about the pain in the middle of kind of making that change. But what you do often is you add on services that bolt onto your bank account that help you run your business better. That is something that is like very comfortable. And so what we advise firms to do, and what we see them have success with, is really positioning Relay as a smart operating account that they can use in conjunction to their existing bank account. So you don't have to switch from Bank of America. Just sign up for Relay. You sign up online in 10 minutes. It's free, right? There's no cost of entry to get started. And this is going to help you be proactive around your cash flow, is the narrative. And so in the same way that you would sell like a bill.com or some tool to help streamline their back office, with you as the advisor, it's a very easy sale in that context.
So it's like a try it. So they're not losing something, they're gaining something. I'm imagining like, okay, you typically have $5,000 in bills per month, outside of payroll. I mean, I don't know, whatever. And almost like start by maybe having them fund it, so then we can work the flow. And then maybe more, I can envision more, they keep pulling their Relay card out more than their other bank card, and it just kind of maybe naturally flows over. Okay, so everyone listen, smart operating account. That's the words he just used. I wrote them down. Relay can be a smart operating account. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I hope that was an okay question to ask, because I've been chewing on it.
Yeah, it's absolutely the right question to ask, because advisors look at this product and they're like, holy crap, this is amazing, right? I want all of my clients on this.
Right.
How do I make that happen, right? Like, one of our salespeople is out this week, so I'm doing some demos, and this is a conversation that we have regularly, because people are like, so excited about the product, and they just want all of their clients to move across. And so it's really about how do you have that conversation in the right way to make sure your client is open to it, and to help them be more successful, because that's ultimately, everyone's goal. Yeah.
I mean, I would also think, just personally, it'll be a whole lot easier to sell if we're using it. So that's giving me confidence, because I'm an actual user. I have, it's always been connected to QuickBooks Online. None of this can't connect, which sometimes we get whenever I'm, logging into other clients. Yeah, it's just been really smooth. The opening, like you said, opening it is a piece of cake. When I first started, and I'm going to a large, like, traditional bank 3 years ago, I went into a branch to open it, and I remember like getting the lollipops for kids ahead of time. Usually when you're like a kid, you get lollipops at the bank. I hope Relay passes out lollipops at some point, right?
Yeah.
And I got them because I had to have them sit like on the back wall of this lady's office. But it was like, that's the life I was living. My husband was deployed. Like, these people follow me around, and they're small, and they need a lollipop to be quiet for 15 minutes. So my experience opening my Relay account was opposite of that. Very smooth. I did not involve lollipops.
I mean that sounds like a bad thing, Kate. It sounds like a bad thing. That it didn't involve lollipops.
Yeah, no, it was in this instance, no lollipops meant my little people were not involved. I did not buckle anyone into a car seat to open a bank account. Can we all get an amen?
Yeah. Awesome. So here's the partner portal. So we kind of talked about like what is the value of Relay for small business owners. It's a smart operating account. It makes it easy to collaborate, not only for their team, but also with you as an advisor. You can automate your bills and have like financial controls all baked in. You can also manage your expenses through the Relay card. And we do all of this in conjunction with Evolve Bank and Trust. They're a financial institution in Tennessee. They've been around since like 1925. They have $500 million in assets, and it's through them that we're able to offer FDIC insured accounts up to $250,000.
Okay.
And so we talked about how advisors look at this thing and are like, oh my God, how do I get everyone using this yesterday? And there are three reasons. One is we give them a partner portal just like this. So they get their own login. They can access their client's account. So I've got my client Henry's Hat Hut.
Hold on one second. I'm not seeing your screen share.
Oh, hold on. Let me try this again. It was showing.
I think you unshared whenever we kind of went off the slides a second. So
let's try this. Is this working?
Here we go.
Okay.
There we go. All right, everybody. So this is the portal he's talking about. We got Henry's Hat.
Yeah. Henry's Hat Hut and Stacy's Stationery. I think say those 10 times fast. And so, actually having your own login where you can switch between client accounts is like so helpful. And then two is you have a direct bank feed into the accounting system. So, it's software talking to software. So it's actually like really reliable. Traditional bank feeds rely on what's called screen scraping, which is what causes those issues that you mentioned, Kate, where you're like, can't connect, I got to reconnect, I got to enter, the SMS verification code. I got to do all this stuff. Right? Yeah. And then the third thing is like enriched data. So we talked about it, I think we talked about it earlier, where, when a check is deposited inside Relay, we get all the key information from the check, show it in Relay. We also pass it across into the accounting system. So you get the note, memo, vendor, date, amount, all the key details. So you're not ending up chasing checks.
Okay. Cool.
So this is the partner portal. I'm just going to kind of whiz through it a little bit. So you have your list of clients here. As Kate mentioned, go ahead and sign up, try out the product for yourself. When you create your own partner portal, you hit the register button here and you can sign up online inside of 10 minutes, no paperwork, no branch, no people. So easy, no lollipops, regrettably. I think that is my big takeaway. And then you can actually invite clients really easily. So I just pop in, jane@business.com. And then I kick out an invite to Jane. Jane can go and sign up for Relay online. No paperwork, no branch, no people, all really easy.
Let me be clear. When you say sign up for Relay, you're meaning can open a bank account with Relay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So it's not like it's actually opening a bank account.
Exactly.
Okay. It's not like signing up for an app. So I just want to make that clear.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, yes and no.
Okay.
Let's say you sign up for it, because I think we all think about like, oh, I just went to Wells Fargo, I created my bank account, and now that thing's never closing, right? Because it's going to take me another 4 hours to go and close it. Relay is very much like an app in the sense that if I go and sign up for Relay account and I try it out for 20 minutes or something, and I'm like, you know what, I actually don't need this. You can actually close your account pretty easily. You basically send us an email and say, hey, I want to try this out. Didn't work for me. Can you please close it? And we'll close it. It is that easy for us. And there's no fees. There's nothing like that. We won't make it hard. We'll actually make it very easy because, we care about people and we want you to have a good experience.
Okay.
Sweet. Cool. And so I'm just going to jump into a small business account. So we've talked a lot about like access to information. So, the partner portal, like a role-based access where you have like read-only access. And we've talked about like the direct bank feeds into QuickBooks Online and Xero. So it's like really reliable information. So you always have the data you need to help do the bookkeeping for your clients. But the other part of the equation is really the quality of that information, right? So when a check is deposited inside of Relay, this is what it looks like. So you actually get the vendor's name, the amount, the date, who deposited it. So you actually get like an audit trail attached, as well as any notes or invoices associated with the check itself. And then you can see the check image as well.
Okay.
Cool. And we pass all this information across into the accounting system minus the check image. So when I'm doing the bookkeeping, I often have Relay up on one screen and then QuickBooks Online up on another. So it makes it really easy.
Just to be clear, we're in Henry's Hat Hut as their
advisor,
their accounting advisor.
Yeah.
And this is what we're seeing as their accounting advisor, which is, I mean, this looks like my own Relay bank account. So this is pretty much like, this person is seeing the bank, and we saw that she had like 60 grand, but we don't actually have access to that cash at this point. There's some sort of stop that's involved.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can basically be set up with, say, read-only access, which a lot of people do, right? Like, I want access to banking transactions and statements. And that's
that's beginning bookkeeping. I mean, that's
right.
that's what I'm doing for my clients right now.
Perfect. Yeah. So you can set it up that way. And then you have the ability, if you're doing more like, you're actually doing the bill pay on behalf of the client, you can have roles set up for that. And the nice thing there is there's always an audit trail attached to any action you take inside of Relay. So even if you just transfer funds between checking account A or checking account B, you can see that it was, Kate that made that transaction occur, or you paid a bill or something like that.
Got it.
Cool. Accounts, you can have up to 20 checking accounts. It's really easy. You can pull funds from 100% of US banks, whether we're talking about Wells Fargo or your local credit union. We'll actually settle those funds inside of one business day. It's pretty quick. If you want, and these are all checking accounts, so you can have a checking account for your payroll, for your profit, for your travel, for your marketing expenses, all really easy. And if you ever want to create a new account, all you do is you hit add account. You name the account. It might be, location A or project A or, your marketing budget or whatever it might be. And you click create, and you've instantly provisioned a brand new bank account with a brand new account number and routing number.
For your client.
For your client.
Okay. That's heavy. Okay. I mean, I guess we've gotten approval. They said they want this. Like, as we're advising them, we're saying, let's segregate costs or something. And
so like let's be 100% clear. These are options, right?
Okay.
These are not things that are available if you don't have the right level of access.
Okay.
Right.
Got it.
If you just want read-only access, you just want access to their information, their statements here, that is what you can maintain. And that's a great place to start. Cool. I just want to be sensitive to time. We can talk about
yes,
Relay MasterCard debit cards, but I just want to show this workflow from the bills coming in from QuickBooks Online and how that process actually works.
Yes.
So when there are unpaid bills inside of QBO and you've integrated Relay, we automatically pull them in into your Relay account here. So here we have this bill from Graphics by Cindy. I can see all the key bill details. If I actually want to go back to QBO, I can do that. I can actually directly link back into QBO. And then if there was an approval rule that applied, it wouldn't say initiate payment here. It would actually say submit approval. And then once the bill was approved, I would be able to go ahead and initiate a payment. And the really nice thing here is, say Kate, I was wanting to pay you via ACH. We would go through this ACH process. Maybe I'd request your payment details. Maybe I'd request a W-9, which you can make mandatory through Relay. But once that ACH is initiated, we change the status of this bill inside of QuickBooks Online to paid. And then once the payment settles on the Relay side, we'd send across a bank fee transaction that would just match up against that paid bill. So there's no clearing account. There's none of that messiness. It's really, really clean and really, really simple.
Okay. To me, there seems like a little bit of so you pay the bill or you click pay bill, but at that point, like, instead of putting a check in the mail, which in my mind, that means I'm kind of done.
Right.
I'm actually, when I'm doing this workflow, I have to wait for that vendor to put in their information. Is there one more step after that? Or as soon as they put in their information, then it's working?
then it goes, or perhaps you
Okay.
already have the vendor's information.
Okay.
Right?
So if I have the information, then I don't have to ask for it. I just insert it.
Yeah, that is 100% optional, and you can make payments via ACH, domestic wire, international wire, check. If you just want to mail out a check to them, you can do that.
Okay. This is great. This is really good.
Cool.
It's not too intimidating. It seems like I mean, I guess would there be for the approval workflows and stuff, like no bills over $1,000 can be paid or something like that. So that way, if you're going to make a mistake, it's not too big. Is that a control that you'll have?
Exactly. So when you set up approval rules, you'll be able to set them up based on amount. So anything greater than $1,000, here are the approval stages. So first we need Stacy Smith and Carolyn, because you can see all team members must approve, and then it goes to kind of a group, and one of the team members has to approve, and then once that's happened, it's ready for payment. So you can set this stuff up. It's all really easy, very straightforward, and so you can say between two amounts, greater than another amount, however you want to set it up. One approval stage, multiple approval stages. It's very flexible.
Someone's got a quick question here. While you're on that left menu, you have the word cards. It says, but you said there's no card payments are available. So please discuss the cards section. Does the client get a debit card? Yes.
Yeah. So absolutely. So I should clarify that. So every business gets a Relay MasterCard debit card. You can have up to 50 cards per business. They can be physical cards or virtual cards. So physical card, we all know the piece of plastic. Virtual card works the same way. You just don't get the piece of plastic, and it's activated immediately. When we were talking about paying bills via card, I more meant in the sense of, that Graphics by Cindy bill. Can I try and pay that bill via my Relay card? And have the funds transferred across into perhaps the bank account of Graphics by Cindy. That isn't something that's not possible, but you could call up Graphics by Cindy and say, hey, here's my card details. I just want to pay this bill.
Okay.
Definitely do
that. Someone is asking, while you're thinking of the next thing to share with us, this is going to be posted later, y'all. If you missed the first half, it will be uploaded to the Bookkeeping Side Hustle YouTube channel. Watch it there. I'll try to have it up there before I go to bed tonight, but no promises, but it'll for sure be up tomorrow. I usually am able to get them up in the afternoon. So what else do you want to share with us?
I think the last thing I just want to show on the product side, we're huge on customer service. So I think our view is like deliver best in class, like banking technology, combined with the customer service we know and love from, your local credit union. So you can always call us, you can email us, we're available and we're here to help. And, depending on how you set things up with your client, perhaps you're doing like AP management for them, we can help guide you in terms of how do you set that up securely and safely so you feel comfortable that you're delivering the service in a way that aligns with your values and how you want to work with your clients.
So this is making me think, obviously I can reach out to support, but where can you point us? Like, people are listening to this, maybe they've come back in a month because they finally are they're done with tax season and they're ready to, really serve their clients and add AP. Where would you direct us for more information? Like, do y'all have tutorials? Do y'all have a YouTube channel? Do we need to sign up for like an email list? How would that way, because I work at 5 a.m. a lot of times, and so if I'm going to learn to set something up, that's when I want to be able to do it. And hopefully, you're not making maybe the support line is not staffed as well at 5 a.m. I don't know. Maybe it is.
Yeah. So we definitely have like a YouTube channel where we have some demos that you can definitely go through. Honestly, the best way to get started, and maybe we can post a link in the chat, is to actually go to our website and sign up.
Okay.
So, website is always on, as you would expect.
Yeah.
And so you'd go to this page, which is relayfi.com/partners/accountants. And you can actually go ahead and enter your information, or you can actually go ahead and sign up for an account with us today.
Okay. Yeah, so if y'all go to bookkeepingsidehustle.com/relay, you'll be able to get my link for that if y'all want to, and it'll take you to that that page. Okay, and then there'll be some sort of library of resources that if we want to know how to make sure we're setting the limits right, or make sure we're like opening the card right, that sort of thing, setting the permissions.
Yeah, and so if you go to support.relayfi.com, there's also a link in the bottom of our marketing site. You'll be able to get access to our knowledge base.
Okay. Someone is asking if I were to pay via phone with my debit card, will it also update in QBO?
Will the bill get marked as paid? No, it won't. You would need to mark it as paid and inside QBO, and we would send a bank fee transaction that would match up against that bill, which is probably like the better option, to be honest. That's what I would do.
Okay. Any other questions, y'all? One of my things I always end with is like, how do we get support for support? And so you took us there, so that's great. Because if we don't have any other questions, we're going to spin the prize wheel. I'm going to get that brought up, and we're going to get T-shirts. So show us what we get.
Yeah. So I mean, you get this, but I also just want to highlight that. So yeah, there you get a Relay T-shirt. It's pretty nice, pretty soft. It's pretty sweet.
Hey, before we go to the prize wheel, tell us about the party next week that you were invited to.
Yeah, so maybe I can actually just share my screen successfully. Let's get there.
One more time.
There it is.
There we go.
Okay. Go. Tax season trivia night.
All right.
So this was super fun. Last time we did it. We did it prior to QuickBooks Connect. So we're doing it again on St. Patrick's Day at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. PST. And so it's like a live trivia night. We'll do it on Zoom. When you sign up, you can like sign up in teams or doing it individually, however you want to kind of join us. But I've never seen a Zoom chat more engaged than I have on a trivia night. It is really, really fun. So for a break, come join us.
Yeah, so last week there were like 8 of us. We formed 2 teams. Y'all, I made an event in the Facebook group. I believe that's how I did this. And if you chime in and say you want to play, we can you can meet people. I think I randomly drew some names to make teams because I don't know everybody. We'll just do that. It'll be kind of random, but it might be a fun way. You might make a friend, and I think y'all suggest 4 to 5 max per team. Is that right? How do you?
Yeah.
So if y'all want to register for the trivia night, but also we can help you put together teams. So thanks for sharing that. I'm going to share my screen now. Uh-oh, I just added Eleni. Sorry about that. Hold on. Kick from studio. Sorry about that. Uh-oh. Kick guest. I don't know what this is going to do to you, but we'll see if it gets all the way out. I hit the wrong button. Share my screen, and I've got the prize wheel here. So I talked him into 5 shirts, guys. So hold your horses. We're going to spin 5 times. Drum roll. Who do we got? Victoria Stanton.
Love it.
Hide choice. We got Victoria. Spin again. Angie Zigafoos. Hide choice. 3 more. A lot of people signed up for this.
Nice.
Emily Clark.
Love it.
Congratulations. When was the last time you won something? Libby Fleck, congrats. And last but not least, Allison Messer. All right. Thanks for humoring me, y'all. Let's see. I'll remove my screen. Congrats to the winners. Yes. Oh yeah, someone's reminding us that one of the bookkeeping title teams won best team name last year for y'all's the trivia night. Awesome. Well, thank you for your time, guys. I hope that those of you who've made it to the end have gotten some value out of this. Please, chime in with any questions. We will track the answer down. That's what this is for. If I know there's a guy named Henry in the group, and I think Eleni is in the group as well. So we'll get answers for you. They want their product to be good for people like us. So we'll make sure we get the questions and any feedback we have for them. So thank you, Yousef. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. This time next week, you'll be prepping for your trivia night instead of prepping for your joke.
Apparently. Thank you so much for having us. This was really fun, and looking forward to working together more.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So we're signing off. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. And if you need your bank account at Relay, please go to bookkeepingsidesl.com/relay and use my referral link. I'd greatly appreciate that. And for now, we will see y'all till next time. Bye.